Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. I've no idea what episode this is. I'm in a real mess. But what more do you expect from me? It's nearly 3 weeks since our podcast. I'm sorry about that. I had intended to put something up last week, but I've been rather obsessed with this 12 Cast On malarkey. I'm enjoying myself, but yeah, today's the last day that I can cast anything on. So I've been trying to get things sorted and done. And this is my first really decent opportunity to come and talk to you. So welcome back if you are a returning viewer. And if you're new, then welcome. I sit here and talk about knitting mainly, some sewing, some crochet today, and a lot of twaddle. Yeah. So let's do the administration first. You can, all the places you can find me and anything I talk about will be down below in the description. I put links there, so you should be able to click on them and it'll take you through to either the website or the product I'm talking about. If I can find an alternative source as well as Ravelry for any patterns I talk about, then I will include them as well. There are 2 mals running in the group at the moment. The first one is the Jump Along, which started late last summer, and it's any adult size cardigan or jumper, pullover, sweater, whatever your local terminology is, that has any length of sleeve. So not a tank top, not a child size, adult with sleeves. Put it in to the thread in Ravelry under Spaknits, which is my name on here and on Ravelry and on Instagram. You can put it, and the hashtag is down below on Instagram if you prefer. If you don't use any social media, either of those things, then you can enter via email by sending me a photograph of your finished item to spaknitsandcrafts@gmail.com. And as I say, all the details are below. In the case of my tablet, on the side, I can't remember which way, but yeah, my tablet puts it in a different place. If I click on the little arrow to expand the description of any video I'm watching, it puts it down the side where you would normally see other videos that they're recommending. I rarely watch anything at full screen. Not sure why not, but anyway. Let's not go off on a tangent this early, Anne. How have you been? I've been all right. I'm struggling a bit. It's winter and I'm struggling at the beginning and the end of the day because I'm getting tired very easily and I'm finding I'm aching a lot. So, yeah, but it is what it is. You know, I've got to manage that myself, haven't I? Things, unfortunately, aren't really going to get any better. So I don't think about what the future holds. There is little point. Now, what am I wearing? I'm wearing my City Limits. This is, I don't know what number this is, 1, 2 or 3 that I made, but this is by Tanis Fiber Arts. Tanis Lavelle or Tanis Lavelle. It's a worsted weight jumper. I've done 3 of these. This one has got a rib neck. It's done mainly in Advent Minis from Biff Sugar and Family Tree yarn from their advents a couple of years ago, and I put all the purples and the greens together from those, and I love it. So this is my third one. I've got the one that's orange at the top and grey at the bottom, and I've got the other one which is like peaches and pinky colour a bit more. Yeah, and I'm thinking, because I have so many minis, we won't really talk about that because it's a bit embarrassing. I might talk about it a bit later because I like to share with you. I like to, you know, I like to share my issues so that, you know, they say a trouble shared is a trouble halved. Well, you can take on some of my issues for me, okay? Absorb. yeah, I'm thinking of doing another one because I like these jumpers. But I do think because the sleeves, oh, I can't show you really. They're a bit narrow at the top because of the raglan shape and they're top down. And they don't really fit around my arm. It doesn't stop me from moving because I can barely move anyway. But I'm thinking I might distribute the sleeve stitches so to go around my chunky arms at the top and then have slightly fewer sleeves on the underarm, because you can see even at my largish size it's still quite baggy, and I think that might work a bit better for me. But I might actually not notice any significant difference when I wear it. I'll think about that. If it's not worth messing with, what's the point? You know, I'd only be proving to myself I can do it. Oh, I can move stitches from one needle to another. That's clever. I might be in a bit of a sarcastic mood today. It could be the drugs, but I doubt it. It's probably just me. I hate my fringe. Look how far it is down. I can't see where I'm going. I hate a long fringe. I did put it up in an Alice band, but I didn't like that because it's not quite long enough to stay there. I'm having my hair cut on Wednesday, 2 days to wait. Trouble, when she cuts my fringe, I don't like it too high above my eyebrows because I think that looks a bit, you know, makes me look surprised. And I have been known to trim my fringe regularly, but I missed the opportunity this time. There's no point me doing anything with it now. Waffle, get back on track. Right, let's get back on track. The second mal, see? The second mal is the new in 22, and I meant to look up the one that Leslie, Not Quite Enough Yarn, has mentioned a couple of times. And it's been run by a few podcasters, you know, a lot well known. The Quirky Monday podcast, and I think Mars of Hey Brownberry. I know I meant to look it up, I'm sorry, I'll put it down below. That's a similar thing. Obviously they'll attract a lot more entries than my little podcast, which is fine, but if you're entering mine, then I was going to say double dip and enter that one as well, or vice versa. The new in 22 is me saying to you, try something that you haven't done before, something that even terrifies you. For me to be brioche, probably. And yeah, let me know. There's a thread in Ravelry. Again, you can enter on Instagram. There's a hashtag down below, and or email me. That applies to all my mails. I would draw. This is going to last all year, and I'm going to draw sort of quarterly. So I'm going to draw at the end of April and the end of August. And now I'm thinking, because of the mini situation I've got, is I'm going to offer the prize. I had trouble with the postage this year, posting something mid-November. Didn't get to the lady in the States until sort of mid-January. But what I'd like to do is offer an advent, a little mini advent set, or something along those lines. It could be either 5 or 10 grams, but a little package that can go out and then do a bag, one of my wonky bags for Christmas Day. So, and it wouldn't be Christmas themed, it'd be, you know, anybody open it when you like. But I thought I'd make that the grand prize for the year, but let's see how it goes. And I need to write it down so I forget. So if I'm talking like in August and I've forgotten it, please remind me. You said you were going to do an advent, and now you're shirking on it. You're saying you're not going to do it. I will. I talk like this to myself all the time, you know, so coming on and doing a podcast, it's not really anything new. Have I finished anything? No. Because of the 12 Cast Ons, I'm not finished anything, but I'm going to show you some progress on the ones that I've made progress on, if you know what I mean. I'm looking around me because I don't know what to show you first. Okay, so let's get into the knitting and the crochet as well, and then I'll show you a couple of acquisitions. Yeah, and I might have to stop this a couple of times while I clear my table and get more stuff out. But Now, as you know, Ange of Yarnnyarns, if you watch her, and I know a lot of you do, she has been running since the Christmas of 2017, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, so this is the 5th year, 12 cast ons at Christmas, so in the 12 days of Christmas, or starting at New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, cast on something every day for 12 days. And I've wanted to join in since last year when I saw it for the first time. And I've gone and watched all of hers previous years as well. Now, considering I've known about this for a year, you'd think I'd get all my ducks in a row and decide what I'm going to do. But no. I talk a lot on this podcast about planning and making plans. I like making plans, but I don't actually stick to any plans. I'm quite happy about that. So I've shown you a cardigan I've cast on for my friend in yellow, the Shoreline cardigan, and I've shown you the kudzu cardigan for me, which I'm knitting with the drop soft tweed and some mohair. And one of the things I've cast on since we last spoke, I think it's since we last spoke, is the Amma. Or had I started it? And I've done, this is the Amma jumper by Maddie Harvey, who is based in Scotland. And this is the Scylfing DK from Triskelion. It's the grey is Prow Dancer and the green is Frea, and it's coming out sort of right, it's blowing out a little bit. So what you've got a rolled neck cast on, which I did in the lime green, but it's sort of lost at the moment because it's turning over so much. And you've got some short rows at the back, so I'm showing you the front, and you do all these until you separate for the sleeves, all these rows of pearls, as they call it, and they're very easy to do. And I've got about half the green left, and I'm thinking of putting a couple of stripes near the cuff and on the cuff on the sleeves, and maybe even cast off with the green as well. Because it's rolling such a lot, although I'll block it, I might add or crochet over the back of that to straighten it out. The yarn is BFL and Gotland, and it's gorgeous. And this is a tonal grey, and I'm really enjoying this. I worked on this for about 10 days, so I lost a lot of time casting on other things because of that. But I wanted to get past the yoke, so that now I can just knit on it round and round and round until I get to the hem. So yeah, nice pattern, easy to understand. I haven't tried it on, I possibly should do. I've tended to now cast on a size or two, depending on the pattern and the amount of ease in it. It's a size or two smaller than I have been making, because as you know, I've been making things far too big sometimes, and I've had to redo them. And I'm not happy about that, because it's a lot of effort. And also, I think sometimes the yarn doesn't benefit from it. So that's my first grey thing. Apologies to Ginny. I say this every time. She said she's getting used to seeing, grey quite a bit now. It is my favourite neutral. I've decided my favourite colours are really, I like peaches and things, but I tend to go, if I look at my yarn, I go for grey, reds and rusts or oranges, and that sort of spectrum, and green. As long as it's not emerald, I can't wear that because it's a cool colour. But grey thing number 2, this is the back of Tom's cardigan. I've shown you this before when it had the sort of rib and cable pattern in it, but this is Steely Gaze it's a BFL DK from Needle and Thread, and I'm knitting the number 22 Shawl Collared cardigan from Kenny Chow on Knit Simple, it says, and it's on Ravelry. I'll put the link below. You may remember that I knitted the back 2 fronts, including pockets. Excuse me. It feels like something's flown in my eye. And then I was on the second sleeve, and I decided I wouldn't have enough yarn for the big shawl collar. I did the lot down to the ribbing. So I'm classing this as a cast on. I've done the one sleeve. I did the whole sleeve again shorter and did faster increases. Tom is sort of medium height, and the sleeve in the pattern was too long for him. So saved myself a bit of yarn in the process. I'm going to show you the 2 things I've got to hand that I've, now, and then I'm going to stop the video and go and get another couple of things. So yesterday I've been thinking about my minis a lot because I've got so many of them, and I've been a pig basically for minis. And then apart from making jumpers like this, which I love and I like wearing, because they're merino, I'd rather use them double because I think they do wear better on me. I had a merino jumper that was just made out of, you know, 1 strand of 4-ply, and I really didn't like it. It stretched, and I just didn't like the feel of it on me. It didn't sit right. That could have been the pattern. It was a dropped pattern, you know, and they're a bit sparse in their instructions. It looked okay, but I think I went off the jumper basically. I'm using it as an excuse. But I've got all these minis, and Tom would like a blanket because I've got my 90 square blanket, and I would love to do another one of those. But I thought it's going to take me a long time to do. And that one took me about 18 months because I put it down for quite some time. I'm talking too fast. But I decided I've got a number of minis that I wouldn't necessarily put in my jumpers, for instance. They're dark or they're bright. And if I make another jumper like this, I want it to be in pastel colours again. Because I haven't got enough darks and brights to make a whole jumper. So I'm going to put them into a blanket for Tom. And what I've decided to do is small 5 round granny squares. So, and I'm joining as I go. I've done one today. I've added that one in. Now, generally speaking, if I'd planned it, because, you know, I've got to do it now, as soon as I think about it and make my decision, I was going to do variegated interspersed with solid or tonal colours. But as you can see, I've not done that. I'm not going to tell you what all the yarns are every time, but because I've only just started this, I know this is the darkest of the turning tides that I'm doing the Bojagi shawl in, which I'll show you in a few minutes. That's the darkest. I don't need that colour anymore. I just saved a little bit to add to Tom's blanket. This, I think, is Newt from Hedgerow Yarns, which is a gift to me. This is a lovely gingery colour that came out of the jumper that I was just telling you about that I wore, the Marvin jumper. I think it's on my Ravelry, but I took it down because it didn't sit right on me. And it was a lovely set from Jelly Beans Yarns, is it? I think. And they're all browns, and sort of there's a one with a burgundy brown and a gingery brown like this, and yeah, so that's in there. And this is a yellow mini that was sent to me, a little ball. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Not colour I can wear, unfortunately. And that is, I can't remember the name of this, but I knitted my mum the Zilver or the Slivna. One of them days, isn't it? Shawl. It's a 1 skein shawl, and it was beautiful. I'd knit it again, but I'd carry on knitting and make it like a 1.5 or 2 skein shawl. She didn't wear it because it's a bit too small, and so I've included that in here as well. That's pretty pinks. Tom won't mind any pink. And then I found some other minis, and I've put the minis that I don't want to wear. Gonna blow out. Blues. I'm not a huge blue wearer. I like blue, and I do wear it, but I was trying to find things to put in Tom's blanket, and then I've got these bright ones from Somerset Yarns that I bought. I've got lots, and I've got a few little, there's some 10 grams in here. All will go into Tom's blanket, and some of them I'm going to put, you know, more than one square in, because otherwise I'm going to run out. And I'm also going to put sock yarn in that I was doing my socks with for Ange, for West Midlands Ambulance Service last year. I've got some black, and I've got some black and grey variegated opal. Is it opal? Might be. I'll put that in as well. So this is another cast on, and it's going to take me probably all year, because I'm doing it on a very small 3mm hook. Tiny, 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 tiny little hook. Feels tiny after some of the knitting needles I've had. And yeah, I find if I do more than one square, it makes my hands and my shoulders hurt, because it's like, I don't know why I pull that face, but you might be able to see that I'm joining as I go. Let me put it by the camera. You can see where the two colours meet. I can't hold it up any better, unfortunately. Yeah, so I put this on Instagram last night, saying I felt quite smug because I was even sewing the ends in. So if you're in the mood, if you've got one or two, then it works quite well. So that is another cast on the towards the 12 cast ons. And then back to the grey, and I'm in the middle of casting on this. Sorry, my hair's getting in my eyes. This is going to be the unfolding shawl. I'm knitting it in this Snowdon lace that I got from Midwinter Yarns, and I can't remember which colourway this is. It's either mist or cloud, and I can't remember which one. My hair, right? Oh, it's annoying me. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I've got a cast on over 300 stitches, and I've just been on my first Zoom meeting with a nice online friend, a fellow knitter, fellow crafter, who just wanted to do a little trial run, thinking of setting up a Zoom meeting with people who watch her podcast. And I was casting on the stitches, so I've just put a stitch marker every 20, and I've got a way to go. And I'm using my chow goose. Now, you may remember that I had trouble with my chow goose, that the one kept undoing. As this undoes, right, when I've got 300 stitches on it, I will give it a very stern talking to. But it suggested a 40-inch cable. I don't know whether, yeah. Anyway, I'm making progress. That's another cast on. And then I've got one more to show you that I will cast on in a few minutes after the podcast is finished, but I'll do it today, and I shall put the evidence on Instagram. So let's have one more thing I want to show you before I go and get other things, and that is the bag that my minis are being held in at the moment, and I've got to take some out because I can't lift it as it is. And that is, I finally got round to making something with the mouse fabric that I ordered from Elmhurst Fabrics on Etsy. This is beautiful, beautiful fabric. I think it's a German illustrator, but I'm not ultra happy with it because, let me just take that out. You don't come here for professionalism. So I've done the handles. I did them with a little bit of interfacing. So there, they've got you fold them over and fold it over and fold it over again, so you don't have any raw edges. So and I put a lightweight interfacing in them, so they're fine. And the fabric that I bought with the mouse fabric is the mustard spot, and that's okay. But, and it's huge. It's got a 7 inch box bottom on it, and that, for me, that's not bad, and the seams nearly line up, but if I show you, everything will fall out. But the thing I'm not happy with is the fact it looks so creased. I've used Bosal, which I love, and I'll keep meaning to show you a sample of it. And I've got the double-sided fusible. So I fused it onto the mices, and then when I'd finished the bag and top stitched it around the top, and I thought I can get my iron and go inside and adhere the lining to some of the inside, you know, the other side that's gluable, fusible, but it's not really sticking. So I'm not, and it's creasing all the time. Now, I've seen pictures of other people making things and they look a bit creased, and I'm not selling this, so that's okay. It's just I'm thinking it's probably because it's such a big bag, it's got weight in it, and it's causing a bit of friction, a bit of sliding motion between where I've glued it and where the fabric is. It's too big a surface area, if you know what I mean, and I should have quilted it. Now, I don't have much of a choke on my sewing machine, and it's only about that you know, I struggle. It's got a needle thread. I paid extra for the needle threader because I knew I wouldn't be able to do it myself. I would quilt it, you know, but so I'm a bit disappointed because I love this fabric. This fabric is gorgeous, and I thought very carefully about how to use it. So that's a lesson to me now, that if I want to make anything with the Bosal, because it stands up on its own, it's lovely, it does exactly what I wanted it to do. It's like a big on-floor storage basket. Like I need any more on-floor storage. It does the job, but it's not as nice as I wanted it to be. So, I mean, I could take it apart, but I don't really want to. The lining fabric frays a little bit. You know what cotton's like. And I mean, this is really dressmaking weight rather than quilting cotton, I would say, anyway. You know, but overall I'm pleased. I love the fabric. I nearly bought the toadstool one the other day, but I had a strict words with myself and told myself I shouldn't buy any more. Light fabric. I'm just going to show you, I've got a bit of Bosal here. This is the Bosal foam. I may have shown you before. See how thick it is. It's about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. And actually looking at it, I thought I'd ordered double-sided, but you can see the glue on that side. Probably can't. It's a bit stripy. See the stripes? They're the glue, but this side hasn't got any. So I'm imagining the fact that I've ordered double-sided, but I thought I'd found my order. Anyway, I prefer the single-sided. But yeah, I suppose I could do some like tailor tack type things if I wanted to on the bag every now and again, but I think that'd make it even more messy to stabilise it. I shall have a word with Mama, because Mama's very good with ideas. So let's get back to the makings, and one of the things that I'm getting near at the end of, because it's my evening knitting, so doing all the child cast-ons, I am definitely, once today's gone and done with, I am definitely going to stick to 2 at a time. 1 day project and 1 evening project. And sometimes my day project becomes the evening, and then I have a new day, depending on, because I tend to knit it for slightly longer in the day than I do in the evening. And with that explanation, I'm sorry if the microphone's crackling, because I've had to start over, because what I tend to do is leave it for a couple of minutes to get rid of this crackle, which I've no idea, because it only crackles at the beginning. So right, this is the Bojagi shawl that I've shown you before. So garter stitch, a little bit of mosaic, simple slip stitch pattern, and then this gorgeous lace, which is yeah, that's the right side, which I really like. Now see that? That's nice, isn't it? Now this is the Turning Tide set. 2 of them, the lightest and the darkest from Helen of Yarnnyarns. And then I've done another, then you do another section of the mosaic. And then you're supposed to do garter stitch. And so you've got garter stitch at the end. But I'm going to do, because I like this lace pattern so much, I'm thinking of doing the lace pattern again. But my problem is that I like, this isn't for me, but I've yet to decide who is going to have it. But I prefer shawls if they're reversible. And this won't be reversible if I do another set of lace. Even less reversible, you know. At the moment you've got the one section of lace. The dog's going to arrive any second. Sometimes he comes bounding in. That's the reverse. It just looks all right. You just see the eyelets without the pattern, really. So I've got, I haven't stuck to the pattern in terms of how much. Hello, Bertie. Can you hear him chuffing? He just had his tea. That's how much I've got left. So I've got quite a bit left. And I was thinking, do I do it garter? Or do I put some lace in? And leave it lacy, you know. So I started doing an eyelet pattern where it went horizontal across the work, horizontal, and an angle across the work. You know, the eyelet moved 1 stitch each every other row. But that still looked a bit messy. So I don't know what to do really. I'm undecided and I'm fed up of undoing so many stitches while I make my decision. I'm using, these are 3.5. I'm supposed to have changed needle size, but I couldn't be bothered and I forgot. My bamboo hires, interchangeables, and these are, oh no, not interchangeables, these are fixed. So, and they're working very nice actually, quite like the bamboo. Yeah, so that all should be finished by the next time I see you. And that'll be cast on, 12 cast ons, number 1, TikTok. And then my final one that I'm going to start tonight, even if I only cast it on and do the first row, is going to be the Cloche Divine hat. I like cloches on me. Now my husband says I'll just look silly in it, but I don't usually take fashion advice of him, style advice. Why would I? I have a beautiful, lovely friend on the internet that I met via Instagram, and she's a podcast friend, and she said, can I send you some wool? Because not everybody can use wool. And I said, certainly, thank you very much. And use it, give some away, which is exactly what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to show you everything today. I'm going to show you what I've started to use. I have got this beautiful skein. I've just caked it up, ready to cast on for the hat, because the hats are worsted. So I'm going to use 2 lots of 4-ply. And there's this one. Look at the colours, and I think they go quite well together. End up with a speckly pink hat. I'm not sure whether pink's the best thing for me, but it's not bright pink, so it should be. Now this larger skein, they're both 100 grams, is Yarn to You. And it is the Flower Meadow. Now they're both merino singles, but one of them is a higher twist, I think, than the other, because look at the different. Although a little bit of that, there was a break in that, so I had to start again. But they are, one's a lot more floofy than the other one. But I'm looking forward to doing that, and I shall cast it on today. I've got my needles ready. I just need to get the Snowdon cast on, the unfolding shawl cast on, and do the first row, and then I'll do the same for this, and then I'll put them away. So thank you very much for the person who sent this who wants to remain anonymous, and that's of course fine, but it's really nice. And the community that we have here, and I'm not one for gushing, is really, really nice, because you know, I think it's nice to pay it forward when you can, if you can. Not everybody can, and it's nice to give gifts as well, isn't it, or things that you may not use. And then and this brings me on a little bit to maybe a new segment in the podcast, and the fact that Tom said to me the other day, I know what you can ask your viewers. I went, okay, what's the oldest thing in your stash? So yeah, so Tom's going to pose some questions for us, real challenging ones like that. And I'd add, why haven't you used it? You know, are you saving it for something special? So if you want to drop me a note down below, or on a Ravelry, anywhere, and you know, I'll read some of them out next time. But what's the oldest thing you think you've got in your stash? Are you saving it? Maybe you don't like it anymore and you've never got round to giving it away, or you can't find the right person to give it away to because you it's too special, but you don't want to use it. Yeah, just let me know. What's the oldest thing in your stash, and why is it still in your stash? And no judgment, just interested to know. So that's Tom's question for this time. As you know, I am on a no-buy year, well, for yarn, but because of Anita, and it is your fault, Anita, of Gaga Knits, I am going to probably be going to Wonderwall. I said to Tom, I might be going to a yarn show. He said, well, but you can't spend anything. You said you're going to go. I don't know. I said, I thought you might just give me some money to take. The things we do to find excuses. No excuses podcasts, and I'm full of them. What more do you expect? So yeah, Wonderwall is the last weekend in April, and I know Anita's going on a Sunday, so I need to arrange and see which is the best day for me to go, and I shall let you know. Wonderwall, I've been there twice. I went there, I don't think was it 2 years running, I'm not sure, but I think it's a super show. It's very wheelchair accessible, because in Bilth Wells, which is the Royal Showground, in Britain we have county shows, not in every county, but it's quite a traditional farming show. You get lots of animals, so they've got these great big huge buildings where they put the pens in for the sheep and the pigs, etc., to show, and Wonderwall occupies those, you say, and it is quite a big show, but they don't seem very good at advertising, because unless you follow them, you don't see much of them. And I also think their website needs a bit of updating, because to look at the exhibitor list and everything, you have to keep going backwards and forwards. Last time I looked at it anyway, a couple of years ago, you have to keep in and out and in and out. I need to check that it's might be ticket only, because of COVID. We'll see, even though in theory restrictions are lifting, I think, and it's a big building, you still, although you've got a lot of space above you, you've still got people packed in together. So it may be, it'll definitely be a mask wearing day for me. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to going there, but I can't buy anything. So we'll see. Now, so I have bought something. Now the first thing I'm going to show you is the penultimate. This is the penultimate of the Hogwarts set Legacy. I can't remember what it was called. By Yarnnyarns that I ordered. It's because it's getting dark outside. I'm getting more. The light's getting a bit too. Look, it's shining off me. Perhaps I can dim it a little bit. Actually, just seems silly that darker it's getting. I'm getting brighter. Let's just take that down. That's better. Haha. Right, so this is Telling Yarns. That's a good representation of it, maybe slightly bright. And this is the colourway, the Burrow. So there are 6 monthly yarns, and I chose to have the British 4-ply as opposed to using merino. And so I've got a much softer palette than the pictures showed on the screen, but isn't that beautiful? And I've got all these, she's just charged me for the last one. So I won't be renewing anything like that. It's something to do with Harry Potter. Chamber of Secrets, I think, based on that. It's now on the floor, so I can't show you anymore. So yeah, so I'll have 6 of those, more than enough to make a jumper, and I would like to do a stripy jumper, I think, rather than a cardigan. I'm going to have a think. Well, one of my favourite dyers is definitely Alison of Sugary Yarns. I'm wearing some of her stuff now. I like everything Alison does. I like her speckles, I like her tones. Yeah, and she's lovely to deal with as well. You may recall that I had a whole sweater quantity offer in her Florence colourway. She did me a custom dye last summer, which she sat down in a bag on the floor beside me, and I really wanted to include it in the 12 Cast Ons, but I haven't been able to make a decision about which cardigan pattern to use. So Alison had a she had a sale right at the beginning of the year, and it went on for a little while, and I kept going back and looking at this yarn and putting it in my basket, and I took it out again. And then I thought, well, I'm not supposed to be buying yarn, but who cares? And I bought these 3. Do you know, I can't help but think I've shown you these before, but it's maybe that I've thought about it rather than And they're definitely a bit brighter on the screen because I've got my other craft lamp on me as well, which I can't dim. So this is MCN, it's merino, cashmere and nylon. And this is golden fleece, which I already have. Take it back a bit. It's a dull mustardy colour. I already have this in the singles, for sure. This is beautiful. This is maple. The reds and the golds and the greens. Well, not greens, we've got a bright limey yellow really. And browns. Oh, that's definitely green at the end. Gorgeous. So they go together nicely. And then there's garnet, which is oranges and pinks. Absolutely lovely. And because it's MCN, it feels beautiful. The only other thing I've got in MCN is my best friend shawl. And that feels so squidgy. I love it. So why don't you wear it more often now? So I'm going to make this probably the Raidat shawl by Justina Lakowska of Let's Knits. So 3 colours, 1 gorgeous shawl. Yes, I know, Mother, I don't need any more shawls, but I like making them, and I'm not giving that one away because definitely my colours. And that's my acquisitions. I have got some fabric, but I haven't unpacked it yet, so I'm not going to show you that until I get ready to use it. So yeah, I think that is all of the making. And I'm exhausted just talking about it. But so now I'm going to talk a little, just for a couple of minutes, about what I've been up to. I went into Worcester with Mum on Friday. We had a little look round. Didn't really buy anything. I just bought some hot cross buns and some bread from Asda, and the bread was absolute rubbish. I bought the tin loaf thinking it'd be easy to cut, and it was very poor quality. I don't know, you know, just crumbled. I'm trying not to eat too much bread, but yeah, that didn't work out very well. Did I buy anything else? I went into the wool shop in the marketplace in Worcester, Little House of Habby or Habe, and she got the new some of the new felted tweed colours. The lime green is gorgeous, too limey for me to wear, but Oh, it would look gorgeous in a stripe and something. And then you look, when you see felted tweed online, you tend to look at it. You can see all it's like. If you go on Wool Warehouse, you can see all the colours on the same screen. But when you go into a shop and you see them for real, they are, oh, they're really, really nice. And it's such a nice yarn. Last Monday, I went out with my sister, her wife, and my mum, and we went to a place called Ego, just up the road from my mum, in Bromsgrove. And as you know, my sister, I mentioned before, my sister lives near Witney in Oxfordshire. So they came up and we had a meal. And I wore my felted tweed Irish cream by Thea Coleman cardigan. And, you know, it wears so well. They say it's a double knitting weight, but I knitted it as a 4-ply. And it stands up to wear so much better than so many other things that I've knitted. That I'm very impressed. And I do have some felted tweed in my stash. I bought some from Ange of Yarnnyarns with her D-stash. I bought a red and a grey, thinking, well, you know, I can put a stripe. I love a stripe, as you've probably guessed. It was too good a bargain to miss, knowing that I love felted tweed. And my mum, in the shop in Worcester, the lady had some grey. I can't remember what the colour name was, but it was a grey and in the felted tweed aran. And you don't see that anymore. I don't know, it might be discontinued, because one of my cardigan is in felted tweed aran, that I knitted it up as a DK. In fact, I need to tell Mum that. She might prefer to do that. And that's wearing really well. But Mum bought, there was a bag of 10, and I bought it for Christmas. And then when we'd been looking at knitting patterns, she met a lady in Lewis Castle, when she was down in Hastings with my brother, with a Safearl cardigan on, and she really liked that. That's top down, and my mum doesn't, you know, she's a bit worried that she might, you know, too much thinking about really. She could do it easily. So I've told her about the Lady Marple, which is another very popular pattern that is not that dissimilar, crew neck pattern front, you know. So, and I quite like the Lady Marple myself, and that's worsted. But now I'm thinking, maybe, depends, I'll ask her, because she gets hot easily, so she might prefer to knit the aran weight rather than going to do 2DK with the felted tweed, because it's the nature of the yarn is that you can squish it up into the the weight lower, and then that just binds it better. It felts it almost, you know, and it makes it a much tougher fabric because you can pull it apart easily, like you can a single. You know, one of these I could pull apart easily. No nylon in it to give it strength. It gets its strength when you knit it up. So, and for hats, I wouldn't make myself a jumper in a single, because I'd wear it away too quickly. But I have got one in singles, mainly biff sugar again, and a mohair, and that's giving it a lot of strength, and it's allowing it to wear lovely on me. So yeah. Well, what was I talking about? I went to Ego, and you know I like talking about food. I had a really nice meal. My sister and I shared goat's cheese on, I mean, it's an expensive place to eat, but they gave you like a half of a small piece of brown bread that had been toasted, and it came with slice of grilled goat's cheese about that big, and then caramelised onions and beetroot chutney, and it was delicious, absolutely delicious. It was gone in like 1 or 2 mouthfuls, and that was it. But we shared a starter, and then what did I have for my main course? Oh, I had a chicken Milanese, which is basically a breaded chicken escalope with, or escalope. How did you say it? Escalope, I'm going to say. Flattened chicken with, it came with fries. Diet's going well. And rocket salad. Now, normally I don't like rocket. I find it spiky in the mouth. I find it bitter. This was really soft, and it was actually okay. but it came with like a patty of cheese that had been melted like on a griddle with there was lemon capers, chilli, tomatoes, and something else that I'm missing, all melted onto this cheese, and absolutely delicious. Really, really nice combination of food altogether. So enjoyed that, and then ruined everything with sticky toffee pudding. And my mother said, and I'm going to talk about her now because she watches, no, I don't want any wine. I'll just stick to water. So I was having my one glass of rosé because I was driving, and I'll have some rosé, please. And then we ordered pudding. No, I'm only having one course. Who had the chocolate brownie, Mother? I had sticky toffee pudding, but it came with ice cream, and I would have preferred custard because I'm a traditional old-fashioned girl. What did Ali have? Oh, she had lemon tart. She said it was absolutely gorgeous. Very good quality food. There's one in Worcester and there's one in Bromsgrove. And here you go. They're like Italian, mainly Italian style. So yeah, I go back there again. They do good offers. I don't know how widespread they are over the country, but they do good offers if you sign up to their emails. So yeah, quite impressed. And this is the place that my dad's drunk in for years. That used to be a pub, and then it got taken over. It was a Harvester for a while, and now it's been taken over as this Ego. Yeah, but I remember it as a pub, going up there on Christmas Day, having a drink while everybody's, with my brothers and sisters as we got older, and we were allowed to go to pubs. Yeah, so my dad used to go up there once or twice a week, meet my uncle, drink there. He'd only have a pint or two. He wasn't a big drinker. But yeah, so it was nice to go up there. It looks totally different. It doesn't look anything like the old place that I remember, and you don't even go in the same door or anything. So that was nice. And then on the Tuesday, I went to see Barb, Deb's mum. Debbie's my friend that I went to school with, who we lost in June of 2020, in the middle of COVID, and she didn't. She had polymyositis and lots and lots of other health issues. So unfortunately, it all got the better of her. But I've known Barb for 40 odd years, so went to see her with Liz, and we had a very enjoyable nearly 3 hours chatting to her. She does a lot of knitting, and I'm showing her how to use her Kindle because she hasn't used it for so long, and Debbie used to just find the next book for her. So anyway, so that was nice to see her. She's 85 this year. She's doing really, really well. So, and my mum and Tom's mum are both 80 quite soon. 80? Oh, scary, isn't it? So yeah, and a week before that, I went to Merry Hill with Elaine and Liz, and I think that was after our podcast last time. Yeah, we didn't spend very long there. I was knackered by the time I got home, really shattered. It shows upon me, usually. I get tired that day, and then the next day it affects me physically. So I do try and pace myself, especially when the weather's dark and damp. Did I buy anything? I think I just bought a bit of food from M&S Food, and that was it. No, I don't buy clothes anymore. I mean, if it was a wool shop there, it might be different, or a fabric shop, even. But no, it's not the place it used to be. I keep saying that, don't I? Like a thinking record on repeat. I can't think what else I've done. But yeah, I'm seeing Penny and Maggie tomorrow around our local pub for a couple of hours. Chat, take me knitting, but I don't usually do it because I get confused. Or I'm going to see which one's easy to take, probably the back of Tom's cardi actually. And that's it, I think, for now. When I started the podcast, I'd intended to talk about the complexities of our craft, this, that and the other, you know, and let's talk about the nitty-gritty. But no, I just waffle. Is that all right? Because I end up talking about what I've been doing. I mean, today I've got a lot, you know, lot to show you. So I've really drifted away from what I'd intended to do. Does it matter? Is that an excuse, Anne? No. So, please enter the mails. Enter the jump along that ends at the end of March. The first phase of the try something new. I don't know if I talked about it long enough. I might have got distracted. It will end at the end of April, and I will draw for I actually might do a pattern prize this time. Now there's quite a few various pattern things. I'll see how I get on, because I've got this yarn that's been given me as well to send. So let's see. It depends on if I didn't make any more bags really after that one. No, it's all right. It works. So yeah, I'm going to go now, and a bit peckish. Need a drink. I think I've a little bit of coffee left that I should have been slurping. I haven't done much slurping today, have I? So I'm going to go. I'm hoping I will see you in about a fortnight's time. Got any questions, fire them away. You know, I do try and keep in up to date with my social media. But yeah, and I will show you the cast on for the hat and some pictures of the hat pattern. I'll put it in when I'm editing of the cloche I'm going to make. So for now, I'm going to toddle off, and I will see you very, very soon. Okay, ta-da in a bit. Bye.